I'm incredibly happy and proud to be here as a very proud member of Nizami Ganjavi International Center, and thank you to the organizers, thank you to Rojvan, our Secretary General, for inviting me and giving me the opportunity to meet all friends and to be with you to discuss important topics. And of course, as we will be talking not just in this session, but during these days, all of the 17 global goals are critical and so important. And as we are seeing the challenges that we are facing at the global community, of course we face global goals, but also we face global threats. And we are facing extreme challenges in dealing with the so many crises. And it's been mentioning not just the situation in Europe with the invasion of Ukraine, but what is happening now in the Middle East. And from my personal point of view, I will condemn again the violence in Gaza and the necessity of protecting the lives of the civilians. And the two-state solution probably is closer than ever and hopefully will be implemented, because I think one of the very important goals all over and at any time is peace, and maintaining peace and having the respect for the dialogue and having the respect for each other, having the respect for the dialogue in diplomacy and international relations. It's a core of anything that we should go forward. Now, of course, during the panel, if there will be questions, but allow me just to go to refer to some of the global goals. We were talking about one of the goals is affordable and clean energy. Obviously, with the challenges, and I come from Romania and Central Eastern Europe, has been under severe challenges by the way Putin was using energy as a weapon. And I remember when I was in office, it was myself and the Prime Minister of Poland that we've been going on alerting at the EU level, especially on and off the record, I might say, that we should take the energy away from Putin's hands because he's going to use it as a weapon. And not that many people believed us, and unfortunately we were right. I wish we weren't. So energy, affordable energy, and here I need to put the context that we should, and finally at the EU level, now it's the decision to leave it to the member states to have the energy mix, not to impose, because quite frankly, I would like to have in Romania more energy from the solar, but it's not the same as in Greece or in other sunny countries. That's why we have the nuclear, which is one of the sources of more affordable sources of energy. And talking about the energy and the challenges we face, I have to say, and this needs to be reminded all the time, the role that Azerbaijan played, and personally President Aliyev played, in saving not just Central Eastern Europe from a major crisis in terms of the energy, but actually the whole Europe. And that's something that it's always important to mention. And in this context, building new corridors, like for example the Middle Corridor, that will have the linkage between Central Asia and of course the Caucasus and Azerbaijan and Europe. That's another great example where we could actually fulfill one of those goals, affordable and clean energy, because in my mind and to my understanding, energy is one of the basic human rights. Of course, as I was mentioning, the energy security dimension, it should be always at the top of the priority and at top of the agenda. But going to other challenges, the globalization. And you've been mentioning earlier in the panel the challenges that we will be facing, as we are still facing, with the movement against globalization and with the security of supply chains and everything that's coming from that. Speaking of one of the goals is building strong institutions. According to The Economist, 2024, as was mentioned, is the largest election year in the history. And quite frankly, I am a little bit worried about a possible horrible outcome at the EU level, upcoming EU level in the EU Parliament, with all the extremists entering the EU Parliament. Hopefully that's not going to happen, and we will maintain that sound of the policy, and platform like this is helping us to talk about policies, not just talk about populist and forming a populist view. I will just end with one thing that I believe that one of the goals that we always have to keep in mind is the need to reinvent how nations work together for good of all mankind. We need a sustainability of hope, if I may use that word. And I look forward to the decisions reached at the COP28. It's been mentioned earlier, as we are looking forward to today's problems. And perhaps the very sense of coming danger will help us with find better solutions. As the old saying goes, finding opportunities in times of crisis. But you know what? In times of crisis, you actually discover the true characters. And I think with all the elections coming, I think it's the need to go back to the sound policies, to the sound discussions of policies, not just say something just because it's popular or populist and then promises. Because one thing that I've been noticing all the time, you make, there are unfortunately too many politicians, growing the number of politicians that are just making promises for the sake of promising, entering the office not to be in, because we are in Greece, not to be in the service of the city, of the old city, but just to be there. And that's not the way politics should be. And platform like this one is helping to really talk about the substance, not just about the appearances. And let's us then forge ahead with the understanding that our sustainability goals are not just for the betterment of our environment, but are crucial for the sustainability and peace of our world in these very turbulent, challenging times.